Hey everyone, it's Josh from Type the Word. In this video, I wanted to give you a demo of the new typing practice program that I've been creating for young students to jump into Type the Word and learn how to type. You can use this curriculum by heading to the Create Goals dialog, and under the Type the Word source, there's a new curriculum called Keyboard Foundations. So my intention here is to not just have like one learning program, but to have kind of like multiple like programs that you can like take your students through depending upon how familiar they are with the keyboard. This one specifically is intended for like basically students that have never used a keyboard before. And basically what it does is it like introduces the basics of the home row and just like works through keys two at a time, introducing them to those keys and having them do different assignments as they learn. So like we do finish the home row, move to the upper row, and then do like the lower row of keys to like round out all the letters. Something else that's included here is like I'm integrating Bible passages as you go, so you can select a translation. I'll use NLT, and I'm gonna have like NIRV pretty soon, which is a very like kid-friendly version of the NIV. So more kid-friendly translations are on the way, but I'll use NLT for now. And then I'm just gonna like publish a few of the assignments from or the lessons from this curriculum. We'll start with this first one, and then I'll also publish one like kind of midway through, and then I'll also publish the final lesson. And over in my students Type the Word UI, they can see that first lesson. And something else I want to just point out is like now instead of just seeing like a straight like progression through the assignment, they can actually see the steps that are included in the lesson they're going to be completing here. And you'll also see this like fill up as we go through these together. So we'll just start with the first lesson. It starts with like introducing them to like the actual letter on the keyboard. So for example, F is the first letter. When they press that, they get a little congratulation message and we can move on. They basically then have this kind of like fun animation where they have to like press it a bunch of times and actually just like get more like familiarity with that position on the keyboard. And then I'd basically do the same thing for J. And while you're doing this, this keyboard is like optional, and it's also that you can turn on colors, and like the colors correlate with the actual key or the actual finger that you're supposed to be using. I do kind of plan on having it like a hand animation that's optional in the future, and I also think that these colors will be, I'll work on them. My wife's actually a graphic designer, and she's rebranding Type the Word, so I'm kind of just like, these are kind of placeholder colors for now, but they will look crisp and fresh when she's done with the rebrand. So anyway, we can just head through this like this exercise with space. And then from there, you like get moved onto some like dexterity challenges. So this first one's called Key Drill. It just like introduces like the letters that we're learning here. And like you can see there, like when I typed something incorrectly, like it has a visual indication of like what you typed and how it's different from the actual thing you're supposed to be typing. And each step checks their accuracy and like make sure that that like matches the accuracy threshold you have for your classroom in general. So from there, we move on to faith words, which is just like having them like work through like words that include these letters. Honestly, J and F are not like, there's not a ton of words that like include a crossover of those two letters, but as we go on, there'll be like more words with more crossover. So we'll be typing more of those words essentially. So then at this point, I will jump to the next lesson. So we'll just do this. I basically just like kind of did an admin thing where I forced it to finish the lesson because I want to actually show you like what it's like once you've learned more letters. So you get like key drill again for like W and O here. But like once you've learned more letters, like the accuracy check becomes like a lot more interesting because you're actually like including letters that you've already learned, and it's kind of like a review plus introduction of the new thing. And then from there, like now that we have like enough letters known, we actually like start running them through scribe mode, which is essentially like them typing the Bible, but only the subset of letters that they are familiar with. After you finish a scribe mode section, it actually like now will prompt you for a comprehension question. So why did Jesus come? That his sheep might have abundant life, to remove need for faith, to give power to thieves. That one seems really wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's this one. Cool. And if you like get the comprehension question wrong, then you have to like go back and actually like read the scripture again and type it again. My hope here is that like basically they can actually like glean something from scripture as they're practicing their typing. And then now that you've like finished that first scribe mode, you're moved on to like this new scribe mode, which like includes all the letters you're familiar with. So this is like kind of becomes more interesting because it's like, it's not just like the letters you're learning, it's like all of them together. Sweet. So now that we finished that one, the psalm invites people to approach God with singing, thanksgiving, and joyful noise. Cool. So you kind of get the idea for like what scribe mode is. The next thing I want to do is like move on to that like final review assignment, which is the full alphabet. And this kind of like is like the culmination of this assignment. Basically just including all the letters now. So we have our key drill with all the letters. I'm not gonna make you watch me go through this. There's then like scripture words that actually include like all the letters. So they're actually typing, whoops, like full words. There's then accuracy check that also includes all letters, and scribe mode now includes everything. So that's kind of the gist of where this proof of concept is at. I curious to hear what your thoughts are on what I have so far, and like what you think is most important before we bring this into your school. So yeah, if you have any questions or have any thoughts, I'd love to hear them. I will see you guys soon.